So you've done radio interviews before, huh? Okay, so that means you're very comfortable. I can see why you would like Brimo. You seem like a very philosophic person. Okay, so we're going on now.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, Lagos, we are back with Time Out with the Radio Goddess, like we do every Saturday morning, bringing in someone impactful, someone who's changing the narrative in their little corner of the world, making sure that the world gets to hear about them and celebrate them the best way that we know how. And sometimes we also bring organizations, we also bring in maybe individuals who will come here and open our eyes to different industry. Like last week, we did talk about postpartum depression. I hope you as a woman, you did get to learn something from our guest of last week. Well, today is very, very special to me because it's all about food. And it's quite interesting to know that a guy is using food to cause social change. Yes, a tool for social change, making sure that he in his own little corner of the world is making that change that he wants to see. Well, this morning I have none other than the uncle himself. Yes, Uncle Moses. Well, his real name is Olakoejo Moses or Latunji, but everybody else calls him Uncle Moses because he is the founder of the Moses Foundation, and trust me, you would love to know what he does as an uncle, a big uncle in that foundation. Well, this morning, let me first introduce him. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you so much.
Moses. We've been talking online, and this is the first time I'm seeing you, so it's quite nice to see you.
So nice.
Okay, so, before we started the show, I did start off with a song of Brimo, trust me, and that's one of his idols, and I had to make him shower him up this morning, of course. Okay, so let's start with asking, yes, Uncle Moses. Okay, so let's ask, who is Uncle Moses? The one behind the apron. How did this journey start for you?
Talking about the one behind the apron, way back while I was a little bit younger, my mom, God rest her soul, she's late now.
Oh, God bless
She,
her soul.
I mean, so she was a caterer, and back then, was born into a family of seven. I've got four siblings. I'm the fourth born,
Oh,
and back then, whenever she has any contract, I would be the one to she would always come waking me up, and I was always wondering why is this one always waking me up. I'm the fourth born, for God's sake. I mean, I have other siblings
were
as
you the
well.
older, the only guy?
No, I'm not the only guy.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
the second guy, and she was always coming to wake me up and all of that. And I was like, why is this man troubling my life? Like, I mean, then I think I was in primary five or so,
Mm.
and she was always coming disturbing me around 4 a.m.
Oh, wow.
as little as I was then. I didn't know what she was preparing me for, and when I got to GS1, and she fell ill, and we lost her and all of that,
Oh,
and I had no idea that she had deposited that passion into me, that she had deposited something great, something tangible into me. And I had no idea until some 7 years ago when I started my brand, Active Kitchen. And then I thought about it, like, where did this journey
this,
begin from and all
mm.
of that. And when I remembered all that she has taught me, the Sunday afternoon where you will be able to cook rice and all of that,
Mm.
and she promised to give you meat, for
For helping out.
helping her out in the kitchen and all of that. And I'm just so glad and grateful for her, actually, because she really did well.
Hmm.
She did well.
Very interesting journey, Uncle Moses. But then, of course, we know a lot of people cook for their families. People cook for their loved ones and all that. Wow, why did you decide to start cooking for an entire community? And not even communities this time. How did that start for you?
All right. I started cooking for the community because one thing about this chef industry, this hospitality industry, is that once the people get to know that you're a chef and all that, they ask you how much do you earn, because
Mm.
actually we know that, money is part of it, but it's actually not. Money doesn't have to do with the fact that your passion. Once your passion is involved, it's a game on. So we've had so many challenges, we've had so many struggles and all of that. And the first thing I was able to encounter in my journey to this culinary industry was the fact that when I started, my so many people were not in support of what I was
I
into
can
then.
imagine.
And so many people were like, oh, can't you just go for something else? And I unfortunately I had no unfortunately for me, I had nothing, no other thing to, some people say they wanted to be a doctor, a lawyer, and all of that. I just wanted to be a chef and, be good and all of that. I started preparing when I was in GS3. I started preparing food for the family, and they began to trust me bit by bit, bit by bit. And I was like, it got to the point I was like, these people have never complained about my
Yeah,
food
well,
before and all of that. And it gave me this joy, and they began to support me one way or the other when they saw that, oh, this thing is becoming a reality, and they began to support me. And from cooking for 3 persons, 5 persons, started with became a very massive event. I began to cook for 100 people, 200 people. And the last time I prepared meal, I prepared that was the last year December when I got a
mm.
contract. I prepared meal for about 750 people. And it was a very
Wow.
massive one. And
Wow.
it's just your passion. So your passion and God, once God is involved, it's a game on.
Now, you said something very germane just now. Your passion is just your passion, and that led me to the next question I'm about to ask you. Now, at what moment in life did you realize I was born to do this? This is what I'm doing. I'm not choosing any career path. I'm sticking to what I know.
All right, so 2020, I got a scholarship to a culinary school, and it was very, very, very expensive. If you know
Mm,
culinary school, they are
mm,
very, very expensive.
mm.
And we had women. I was only male in that class in the school. I was only male in that set. I was only male, and it was so strange. I was like, have I not chosen the wrong stuff and all of that? And it got to a point, it was time for us to write our exams and everything. And in that class we have so many big CEOs in Lagos, food vendors and all of that. And some of them just show up probably once in a while. And so I one way or the other, I managed to, with the help of God, I managed to scale through And at the end of the day, I was the first in that class. I took the first position, and I was like,
Wow.
this thing, some of those things that we wrote in our exam, I didn't read for them. I didn't read, didn't sit down to read for them and all of that. I didn't prepare. But this thing just, came naturally. It's even I used to tell people that even if I had not attended any culinary school, I would still, be astounding. As much as, I keep sharpening my skills, I keep, doing things that will make me, astounding and all of that. So it's just my passion, and my passion, and then God involved
We
as well.
have to keep talking about this passion because it's really very interesting, trust me. And of course, with the Moses Foundation, I really would like to ask, how do you decide which communities or which people you should serve per time?
All right. So growing up, I grew up in a very, very local environment. I mean, local environment whereby you see, elderly people
Mm.
put on just wrapper, even on Sunday morning, they put on wrapper and just their top and to church and all of that.
Mm.
And I the last time we had our outreach, we visited where the environment where I grew up, and then I met so many people. And one of the many ways in which we choose the particular environment we are to have our outreach is, first of all, we go to God in prayers. Myself and my team will pray about it. Like, we're preparing for an outreach by December, so we're praying about it. Where is God leading us? So it's just it's not about you just going and without having any direction.
Mm.
God has to be involved. God has to be your number one. So we pray and ask God for direction, and we have people mentoring us as well, people checking in on us, directing us, and putting us through the right path. So we ask them as well, oh, these are the locations that we have in mind. What do you have to say? And they come in with their own wisdom, and we rub everything together, and then we pray, and once God says we can go, but then we move. And but without God, yeah, without God saying anything, we just have to keep
Praying and waiting.
praying and waiting that, oh, God will come through. And we weigh them by, when we have around my area, we have a place called the Sherry, and we have a place called Magodo. So
Okay.
we know that, oh, actually, God will not have us go to Magodo, because Magodo is for rich people, and there's nothing we want to give them. You can't. There's nothing we have to
Never
offer to
can
them.
say.
So
Some people might just be lacking, but they're just
actually,
living there to package.
so in Magodo, there are some certain set of people that they don't even allow into the gate.
Mm.
So but in Isheri, anything goes, even goats goes. So without any question. So in Isheri, we have about 99.9% people who are struggling financially, materially,
Mm.
even in their families, they are struggling, and some of them keep doing jumping from one job to another just to make ends meet. So we know that, oh, this is one location that we really need to come through for them, but we don't go without God saying
Go.
go.
Okay, Uncle Moses, feeding people is beautiful, trust me. When I first heard this is what you do, I was blown away. But of course, we know it's not all about the jollof and the joy.
Yeah.
There are also tough challenges doing this. Now, what are one of the toughest challenge for you since you started this mission?
All right. So, the toughest challenge we've got thus far is finances. Finances. I could remember when we started. When we started, it was on the morning of my birthday, 26th February, and I had no idea. A night before, I had no idea that we were going to start
Hmm.
it on the 25th. I had no idea, and I woke up on my birthday and I was like thinking, what can I do to contribute to the society, and make impact and all of that. And then a thought just came. I believe that it was Holy Spirit that dropped it in my heart. And myself and my friends, we, went to, I had just little money. I was going to use that money to get some stuff for myself. And, we just got some stuff, got some food stuffs and provisions. And then we went to somewhere called Ojudubega. And Ojudubega is known for, we have so many people begging for arms, begging
Mm.
for, and all of
Mm.
that. So we just reached out to those people, and, you know, the urge became very, very strong, and that we couldn't even resist it. So that first year we did, there was nothing like flyer or anything. There was nothing like, oh, sending out flyer with your account number so people can donate or partner and all of that. But the second year, when God asked us to continue, when we continued, and we saw that, oh, this was going to be a big thing, and we calculated we're going to be feed about 250 persons. And when we calculated the amount, it was a really serious thing. So we needed to like attach our account number. And these days, if your NGO is not registered, people will find it a bit
Very
difficult
true.
to trust you.
Very true.
So except you have some amazing people around you that are well doing and
Trusting your
financially,
vision.
and they trust your vision, and they buy into what your
Mm.
God has called you to do, and so they will be able to support you to an extent. Like the past outreach that we had, the last outreach we had, my church supported RCCG Amazing Grace. They supported us, and without even looking at the fact that the organization is not registered and all of that. They came in, they came through, and we also had a partner as a friend of mine who is into some same thing and all of that. So one of the major challenges we do have every year is having to get partner to partner with us. And banks are ready to they're always ready to partner with you. We have organizations that are ready to partner with you, but once they see that your NGO is not
Not
registered,
register.
it's a turn off, because sometimes they have to put it on record, and so it won't look
Very
like
true.
they transferring money into a personal account and all of that. So that's one of the tough challenges we do face.
Okay, Lagos, we are this morning looking at giving back. Yes, giving back to society, which is what everybody should be everybody's responsibility at this juncture. And that's why we brought a young man who's doing so much in his little corner to make sure that he changes the narrative as much as he can. And in this case, he's using food as a tool for social change. And it's really amazing to see that a young mind is bringing himself to do this. This morning we have Olakoyejo Moses Olatunji, but everywhere you see him, they call him Uncle Moses because, of course, he has the heart of a uncle. You can also be part of the show this morning by calling us on 0704 700 3341, 0704 700 3341. Or if you can't get through the phone lines, just send me a message on 0813 331 3172, on WhatsApp 0813 331 3172, and of course we'll get to answer all your questions this morning. Remember, it's time out with the radio goddess Idara Odo this morning, and like we do every Saturday, we bring in someone impactful who is doing so much in their world to change the narrative. Okay, so coming back to you, Uncle Moses, let's look at this perspective. A lot of people say giving back is the job of government. It's government's job to do, but I don't have any responsibility to give back to society. But you, are, as of someone who has taken that role, what is your take on personal responsibility?
That's actually a whole lot, because I've heard people say things like that and all of that. And I would give an illustration. When we lost our parents, we have my mom's siblings, my dad's siblings. They were arguing and all of that. Oh, who are the people that are ready to take these people in? And all of them just keep moving back, and they had to like just ignore, like it's none of their business and all of that. And we know that we are all struggling and all of that, but then there is a need for us to step in. If we keep putting everything on the government, nothing will be done. If the Dangote keeps saying that, it is the responsibility of the government to get a petrol station or a refinery or whatever and all of that, we won't have Dangote today, and you'll probably be in his house or somewhere and all that. But then he had to step in. We forget about the fact that he's making money. We know that he's making money, but he's actually making an impact. And we've had thousands and thousands of people that he has employed, and he's feeding them every year, and he keeps doing this and without getting tired and all of that. So I mean, if we have the opportunity to assist someone, if we have the opportunity to step into someone's situation, we shouldn't, and we are in the right position to do that. It shouldn't take us anything. So even the Bible says, love your neighbor as yourself. So what you can do to yourself, you must make sure that you do it to at least one person, so that that person can also pass it along to another person, and it will keep going and going and going until the society will be a better place for us all to live
Very
in.
true.
Because we are in this society now, we have guys that are not ready to work. We have guys going into fraud, going into so many stuffs, and you go into social media every day, you see guys trying to um go into money ritual, money laundering and all of that. It's because some of them might have been ignored, and if you get to hear their own part of the story, you know that maybe we know that we're not disputing the fact that they're not at fault, but we have so many people that could have just assisted them one way or the other, but they were probably ignored or something, and they felt rejected or dejected, and they had to look for their own way. And the closest solution at that point was to just go into fraud. And so I believe we all have our part to play. So we shouldn't put everything on the government. The government will do their own part as well.
Hmm.
The government have their own part to play, but one way or the other, we all have a part to play.
Mm. Now, looking at the impact of your work, how do you measure the impact of your work beyond the fact that okay, it's we are giving people full tummies, full stomach, people are not hungry. How do you measure the impact of your work?
All right, so we've not been taking that seriously, right? So I think we took it serious this year when we had our outreach in February. So we reached out to 50 families, and the 50 families we reached out to, we were able to, get to listen to their own side of the story, get to know what they are going through and all of that. And most of them, when we went to, because we went to 5 different locations, we went to Agege, and most of them were complaining about the fact that they don't have shop. Some of them have shop, but there's nothing in their shop and all of that. So we, took their complaint, took their, their store, what they are going through and all of that, and we documented it. And we started reaching out to them one after the other. We started reaching out to them, getting to know, some of them had to come up with a budget. Oh, this is the amount I need for my business and all of that. And one way or the other, we can't support them with everything they need, because this is just more like a woman thing. So we are just trying our best. So some of them need, if some of them need, for example, some of them need 500,000 naira, probably we're able to give 100,000 naira. That's something. That is something that can actually get them something doing, rather than being idle at home and doing what they're not supposed to do and all of that. So we've recorded about out of 50 for the 50 families we reached out to, we were able to get about 25 women that we are currently on, and we're trying to support them. So far so good. We've supported about 7 of them, and we're still looking forward to supporting more, much more, even much more than we've recorded. So we are still on it. We're still trying to get to know what they need and all of that. And the funds are not available now, but we trust God that the one who has called us will not leave us stranded. So
Very, very interesting. Now, personally, on a personal note, how much has giving back changed you personally?
some years back, I think I was, so when I was in secondary school, when I first started secondary school, I was in my first term. So um whenever I'm coming back from school, so if I graduated from there's this school called Basafunwa, so
Okay.
Jodu Grammar School. So whenever I'm coming back from school and I see these beggars and all of that, and coupled with the fact that we've heard so many stories about them, we've heard the fact that some of them will just start come to Lagos and start collecting money and go back to their village and build houses and all of that and buy cars and all of that. So that story actually did something to me, and I was like, there's no need for me to give them money and all of that. But then something happened one day. I was coming back from school, and I saw this woman. She around that beggar axis. I saw this woman. She was on the ground, and she had 2 babies with her, and she was trying to beg for alms. I think she had an accident or something, and she was trying to beg for alms and all of that. And I had just 10 naira with me. So back then, if school people and all of that, you know that if you find 10 naira on anybody, they're trying to save that money to get water. And I was trying to get water because I couldn't get water at the school gates. So when I got to beg, I was like, oh, I'm definitely gonna get cold water. But then something one way or the other, I was able to give this woman this money. I gave her that money because normal me, I wouldn't have done that. But I gave her this money, and before, in less than 1 minute, somebody just gave me 100 naira.
Mm,
Somebody gave me 100 naira.
mm,
And when I was like,
mm,
is this how? So I was like, so I'm having on my mind. I was like, so if this is how this thing, is, I will never stop giving. I'll keep giving.
mm,
And one way or the other, God has been helping. Really, God has actually been helping.
mm. Now, okay, say giving back now. Now, if someone is listening right now and they really would want to help, support, or replicate what you're doing, where do they begin?
All right. So the first thing to do is seek God. You know, tell God about your plans. Tell God about all of the things that you that you set to achieve and all of that. And then have good people around you. It is very, very important that you have good friends, people who support you. I can say that so many outreaches that we've done, we did so many outreaches and they were successful. And myself and few of my friends we go back home and we drank Gary. So people wouldn't see this. They won't hear this part of this part. We won't put it online for people to see. It's just once in a while where people get to ask us about it, and we tell them. We drank Gary, and about 2 3 days we kept drinking Gary, and they didn't complain about anything. They kept supporting and supporting, even with their own last card. They kept supporting and supporting. So you don't have to have you don't. There's no need for you to have 1 million naira before you can start helping someone. I started with 20,000 naira. The first year we did our outreach, it was 20,000 naira, and one way or the other, we're able to help so many people. So even if you don't have money at the moment, and you have good people and you have friends who are ready to support you, you can come together and they'll be able to map out a plan and tell, oh, these are the people that I have in my contact list or my contact list that will be able to assist us in doing this thing, that will be able to support us with 10,000 naira. This person will support us with 5,000 naira. By the time you get to bring everything together, you're almost good to go. So one way or the other, you see that God will keep coming through. God will keep coming through for you one after the other.
Okay, this is the fun part because we're about to wrap up the show now. Okay, so if you were trying to impress me, what food would you cook to impress me?
As if I'm trying to impress you, that would be party jollof rice. Party jollof,
like
party jollof
smoky
rice.
party jollof. Okay, okay, I like that part. Okay, so don't break our hearts now. Okay, so jollof or fried rice, which one will you choose?
Jollof rice all the way. Jollof rice all the way.
Okay, so lastly, before I let you go, I must ask you this. Now, if your pot of jollof could talk, for instance, what do you think it will say about your journey?
A whole lot actually. First thing first, it gets me a partner. My first will ask me, because the pot I'm currently using now, my mom was the one that got the pot, and it's so good using something that she left behind and all of that, and one way or the other, a pot keeps reminding me that I can do this thing, and there is no turning back. The fact that I've started it, I can't end it anytime soon, and until I get to achieve what that I've set to achieve. So it's been a very, very long journey, and sometimes you put in a whole lot of work and people don't see it at all. They only see the minor mistakes, and they blame you for this and all that. But you know where you're headed to. You know where you're heading to, and the vision that God has shown you. So it's a must that you keep following the vision, and never look back.
Okay. Uncle Moses, what's next for you and the foundation, the Moses Foundation?
All right. So our outreach, we do have our outreach once in a year, like on my birthday, February 26th. But as God is helping us to enlarge this NGO. And one way or the other, we've had people that have reached out to us. Oh, they want us to partner with them with the outreach and all of that. And like, I think about a week ago, a friend reached out and said, oh, she wants our NGO to be a part of our to partner with our NGO by December. They're having an outreach and all of that. So we're, by God's will, as God will be helping us, we're planning to stretch it beyond once in a year, and start with twice a year, start with probably once in a month, and it doesn't have to be a big thing and all of that. It doesn't have to be elaborate. I mean, we actually started small, and we know how God has helped us thus far. So we are looking into taking it beyond once in a year to twice a year or once a month, and as God will be helping us.
I must say a big thank you to you, Uncle Moses, for coming on the show. Really, it's
Thank
been
you so
a
much.
very interesting conversation.
so
I won't
much.
lie. I enjoyed myself thoroughly,
Thank you
even
so
though we
much.
did not see your signature jollof. It
Thank
was
you
a
so
really
much.
very interesting conversation. And I hope, of course, with time we'll also get involved, because it's interesting to give back, really. And then you can carry us along as you go on this journey, of course, to give our own quota to changing humanity and also changing lives. Thank you so much again.
Thank
And
you.
of course, I hope it wasn't crazy getting here.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Okay, so on behalf of everyone who's been part of today's show, it's been Time Out with the radio goddess Idara-MEDIA. Yes, every Saturday at 10:15 a.m., we bring in different individuals who are changing the narrative in their own corner of the world, making sure that they impact the world positively and they leave their marks on the sands of time. You can also be that individual. All you need to do is call this number 0813 331 0813 rather 589 2362 0813 589 2362, and that's how you can be a part of the program. Yes, on behalf of everyone who's been part of the show today, I am Idara-MEDIA, and before I go, I must say another thank you to my guest for finding time to come here. Of course, Uncle Moses Olakoijo Olatunji is the founder of the Moses Foundation, and he also has the Active Kitchen. So if you love jollof rice, like he said, of course, find your way to Moses and also use that way to give back to society. Thank you so much for being a part of today's show. I am signing out. Bye bye.